The Avengers, welcome to the wonderful world of Marvel madness. The mighty Avengers, the valiant also die. Ha! To think that one of the accursed Avengers should be captured in my very stronghold, lured here by his love for the Black Widow. What could better prove how superior to all Americans is the one they call the Red Guardian? And a Hutsky-Tratsky to you, you long-winded creep. Just let me out of this overgrown test tube for 5 minutes, and I'll ram all your slogans down that muscle-bound throat. Hawkeye, no, it will do no good to bait him. It's no use. He seems hardly to see or hear me since he learned that the Red Guardian is my husband. E pluribus Marvel. Be it hereby known to all true believers that the titanic team of Stan Lee, editor, Roy Thomas, editor, and John Buscema, artist, have co-created yet another mind-bending modern masterpiece. Signed Vince Coletta, inker Sam Rosen. Okay, so we signed the thing already. Now can we have our paychecks? Vince and Sam and a mighty Marvel, no prize to us for starting our tale without the usual space-hogging synopsis. The far-out phantasmagoria which follows can speak for itself. For the next moment, 2 sinister figures enter this gadget-studded chamber behind the bamboo curtain. It's Colonel Ling, and, great heavens, with him is General Brushov, my country's top military genius. What now? Is it time to play war games? Silence, dog. Let him rail, Guardian, while he can. Soon he shall chant a different tune, one of unending despair and fear. Yes, Comrade General, as does Hercules even now. You're bluffing, Baldy, and it won't wash. There's no power on earth that can beat that bearded bozo. We have no need to defeat him, fool. Yet, for all his vaunted strength, he shall never bother us again. Observe and tremble. Then the hand of the demoniacal colonel turns a large dial, and a startling sight appears. Look, my dear Hawkeye, at how the Prince of Power battles the very air, struggles with non-existent phantoms. And thus he shall remain the eternal victim of the dread Psychotron. I don't get it. What's Herc think he's fightin'? Why doesn't he bust out of there? That he will never do, Avenger. Colonel Ling, show our captive audience what Hercules himself sees. And, as Ling complies, a kaleidoscope of swirling colours converge into a single incredible scene by the deadly parts of Apollo. What manner of beast is this second Hydra? We might as well point out here that the son of Zeus is still a bit vague on the niceties of 20th century super science. Savant Stan, though, I wield as much power as ever I did in antiquity, yet it doth ever defy my stoutest blows. An impressive display, as I will be the first to admit, but I'm still unconvinced as to its military value. Also, I shall not rest until I behold your precious Red Guardian in action against the hated Captain America. That is also my own fondest wish, General Brushov. You and our distinguished guest are both short of sight, Alexei. What matters a hollow victory over one lone man when, with the Psychotron, we can conquer a world? Right now, the powers of the Psychotron are limited to a single chamber. But soon, very soon, we shall be able to project images of whatever we desire into the very heartland of the enemy. A tidal wave hundreds of feet high, rising out of nowhere. But we're miles from the sea. It isn't possible. Nothing can stop that thing. We're doomed, doomed. Terrified, helpless before visions of fire, of flood, of mechanized war machines taller than buildings, both citizenry and military alike will flee in stark panic then. Then, using our newest and most deadly weapons, it will take merely a small, hand-picked force in each country to take possession of it and its virtually undamaged resources. Think of it, An entire world shall be ours without the incalculable hazards of nuclear war. A few tons of scientific equipment placed on your nation's atomic submarines, and this planet shall be ours. Ah, yes, our atomic submarines. Perhaps your need for them is the only reason you have informed us of the psychotron, eh? I assure you, Comrade General, never mind. There is still one thing that makes me skeptical of your masterful plan, Canalfer. What of Madame Natasha? She who was exposed earlier to the full fury of the psychotron, yet was not reduced to the stark helplessness which you predicted. I admit, comrade, that we must do further study on her to learn why the traitor still possessed enough strength of will to attempt an escape. Perhaps it is because I am not a traitor, my colonel. Quiet, female, your guilt is proven. By whom, colonel? By a snivelling informer from within S.H.I.E.L.D. I insist you subject the Black Widow to a lie detector test. It happened in Ish number 42, succinct Stan, eager to gain his guest's goodwill, to say nothing of his Asub fleet. The base commander calls for an advanced polygraph, only to find it is beyond belief. The machine says she speaks the truth when she denies being a traitor, that she is loyal to our nations. Have I not always claimed so? Then she must be freed at once. Thus, scant moments later now, Colonel, perhaps you will wish to look at the American sub-plans I stole. I sensed from the start, my beloved Natasha, that you would never truly betray us. Though I taunted you before, now once again will I be happy to call you my wife. Very touching. But you mentioned submarine plans? We took them from her when she arrived, comrade. We were informed that they were obsolete, but now we shall examine them closely, all of us. Colonel Ling still does not fully trust me, but he will soon learn just how truly I spoke. Ah, what a team we shall make with our present powers, Natasha, the invincible Red Guardian and the beauteous Black Widow. My only regret will be if I am denied the opportunity to prove myself in combat against Captain America. And as the incongruous foursome depart, talk about being mixed up. I got myself captured because I thought Natasha was on our side, but now, no, I won't even think it. I've got to trust her. I've got to. Either way, though, it looks like curtains for Hawkeye. Just hope that the other Avengers stay out of this. But, unknown to the Archer, he is to be denied his fondest wish, and the Red Guardian to receive his. For, well, that must be the place, Cap, at least according to our instruments. Maybe it was Hercules who did it, Hank. Jan could be right, Goliath. Yet, somehow, but Hawkeye didn't want us to follow him, so why did he activate the homing signal that led us here? Oh well, we'll worry about such academic points later. Right now, I'm taking this supersonic kiddie car in for a landing. Then, with flawless precision, Steve Rogers guides the aerocar down into the center of the futuristic complex. Whoever built this base is bound to be aware of us by radar, so no use wasting time with a sneak attack. Just the same, I wonder why they let us land in the first place. Yet, if the one called Goliath could only peer momentarily beneath the very spot on which he stands, he would soon have his answer. The blaster cannon is in readiness, and our visitors are indeed the mighty Avengers, as our colonel predicted. Begin the attack now. The next instant, that section of the surface is opening, powered by some mammoth mechanism. It's just as we suspected. We've walked into some sort of trap. But when those caught in the trap are Avengers, the hunters have a way of becoming the hunted. Wait, something's rising from below. Look out! It's some kind of fantastic, lethal cannon. Get back if you value your lives. And even as the colourful quintet duck behind a nearby corner, good show, Cap. Another second and those slabs would have come down on us. All of which gives me a great idea. Wonder, I think it's high time you used your hex power again. As do I, Captain America. Watch as I direct it against the concrete wall behind our attackers, calling down upon them the very fate they had intended for us. And if you can't guess what happens next, Tiger, you're no true keeper of the flame in our book. The wall comes crashing down upon us. The cannon is wrecked. We are defeated. But one ray gun does not an attack make. And so, from a dozen directions at once, stop the intruders. Capture them alive if you can, but stop them. It shall be done. The Americans must never escape to tell others what they have seen here. Who says I want to tell anybody about this place, mister? After all, you clowns aren't exactly scenic wonders. You can say that again, Cap. As a matter of fact, we should be proclaimed culture heroes just for mowing them down. And when the gargantuan Hank Pym joins his fellow assemblers in combat, the titanic tableau is complete. There are so many of these trigger-happy goons, they can't shoot at us without hitting each other. Don't count on that protecting us for long, Avenger. It's already too late. Look up there. Then, as several pairs of eyes are averted upward, a gigantic panel opens on one of the towering spires which overlook the pitched battle below. They have seen us, but no matter, for they cannot long elude our parasonic thermo-ray. It missed. But if Pietro's warning had come an instant later... Hey, where's Jan? She was by my side just a minute ago. Better concentrate on ducking a second ray blast, Hank. Jan can take care of herself. Yet even as the Star-Spangled Avenger speaks, the girl they call the Wonderful Wasp is taking care of much more than merely herself, ready to fire second volley. Now, WH, nothing happened. What could possibly have gone wrong? If you can't guess, guys, I'm sure not going to tell you. After all, Handsome Hank's the only partner I've got, and I'd hate seeing him turned into burnt toast. Wait, I have found the problem. One of the vital wires has somehow been pulled loose. It will take but a moment to fix it. We do not have a moment, comrade. Look. By all means, comrade, look. But if you expect me to explain how I got up here 50 feet off the ground, forget it. Are ye? 'Cause if I told you I made myself small enough to ride a flying ant, you probably wouldn't believe me. We may be making a lot of work for a cleanup crew still. We're no closer to finding Hawkeye and Hercules. Tell the others to hold our hosts back while I search out the weak spot in this setup. I will, Steve. Be careful. There are undreamed of dangers in this place. Don't worry about me, lady. Just take care of yourself. And as the red, white and blue Avenger races off, behold, Captain America flees. Has he perhaps seen us, swooping downward from above? If he did, his flight will save him but a moment from our portable stun beams. No, aim first for the females. They make the easiest targets. Then, at the last second, Goliath sees the jet-powered troops taking aim from overhead and got to save the girls. Hank! Oh, Hank, if they've harmed you, but before the gloating rocketeers can fire again at the falling giant, a fast-moving green comet provides a sudden distraction. It did it! I reasoned that they would not be able to resist a moving target. Must remember to move more slowly than usual, just fast enough to keep their stun rays from hitting me. However, the foremost of the flying defenders carries out his original plan to attack Captain America, just as even your far-famed shield will not save you forever, fool. Who needs forever? All I want is a chance to fling it at you, and the slab beneath me sliding away. No way to regain my balance. I'm falling, but not for long. I've struck some sort of metal platform encased in a transparent material, and it's being lowered even as I hit it. If I didn't know better, I'd say this was a bamboo curtain welcome mat. For several long, lingering moments, each of which seems a veritable eternity, the stunned Avenger seeks to gather his shaken senses. Then, abruptly, the platform enters a chamber filled with throbbing light. Well, I may not have found our wandering Avengers just yet, but there's Natasha anyway. Don't know who the three jokers with her are, but it's a cinch they're not members of my fan club. Ah, the much-lauded Captain America, our prisoner. I am glad we did not destroy that ship in flight. Now, Colonel, I would see him fight the Red Guardian. No, it must not be. It would be insanity to take the risk. Oh, Steve, are you and the other Avengers doomed all because of me? Risk, do you say? My victory is a certainty. Release him so that I can fulfill my destiny.
Don't put yourself out on my behalf, fella. After all, you didn't think this plastiglass was harder than my shield, did you? Now, just hand over my 2 buddies and Natasha, and I'll head back to the States. He's escaped all because you did not let me kill him outright? Stop him, Alexei, or pay the ultimate price. No threats are needed, my Colonel, to spur the Red Guardian to action. The Red Guardian, eh? A high-flown name for somebody who looks like nothing but a carbon copy of me. Truly, I was trained to be your counterpart, Captain America, but I am no mere copy, as you shall soon learn. Don't waste words on that shield-carrying swine, you fool. Destroy him before he can act. Colonel Ling commands you. Have no fear, my Colonel. I shall defeat him as easily as... Sorry, I had to do that, Red. Now I'll never know what kind of pushover you were gonna compare me to. Colonel Ling, that's the big brass who used to be Natasha's boss. If he's here, whatever's going on at this base must be vital to the enemy. Then it's up to me to... I was careless. The Red Guardian's even faster than I suspected. You were overconfident, Avenger, just as I knew you would be. Next, with almost unbelievable swiftness, before the red, white and blue champion can regain his balance, now I have you in a hold from which you shall never escape. His power is the equal of his speed. That's quite a grip, all right. But there's one thing you forget. A man's strength can be used against him by a master of judo. What? Nothing stops him. He landed on his feet like a cat and sprang to the attack. My best plan is to keep on the offensive like this. A noble try, my star-clad foe. But even you must eventually relax your guard for a second, and when you do, my chance shall come. Okay, so you had your chance, and you muffed it then. Suddenly, the crimson-clad figure breaks away, and now run where you will, Avenger. There can be no hiding place from my electronically controlled belt disc. Yet, a split second later, as the deadly metallic object whirls through the air, mister, I don't know what that fancy belt buckle of yours was supposed to do, but it's just flunked its final exam. Not quite, Captain America, for you will notice it damaged your shield so that it did not return to you, and now it is time for me to end this futile charade. His reflexes are as fast as mine, and he's not tired from previous fighting as I am. Has Captain America at last met his match? And on that particularly gloomy note, as the lithe form of the Red Guardian hurtles towards our fallen hero, we must look in momentarily on the imprisoned Hawkeye, who is at this very second receiving a most welcome shock. The capsule, it suddenly broke open like a blamed paper bag. But why? I haven't done anything but stand here and look at it. Oh well, this is hardly the time to look a gift horse in the mouth, especially till I take care of these guards they left behind. Chuckles, don't say I never gave you nothing. Look out, you fool! Now, like they say in the movies, I think they went that away. I gotta catch up with them before they can do anything to Tasha, 'cause I got me a hunch she's on our side, and that she's the one who gimmicked my cage. But if she tries to sabotage the Psychotron gizmo and fails, they ain't exactly gonna give her the Stalin Peace Prize. Meanwhile, even as the ace bowman retrieves his fallen weapon and begins his frantic race against time, he is utterly unmindful of a pitched battle being waged a short distance over his very head. A battle against staggering odds. It cannot be.
Our stun rays should have finished the giant by now. Not a prayer, Charlie. Not while I'm having so much fun tearing apart your precious Tinker Toy set.
not to mention doing a little bowling on the side. He fights like some mammoth demon. But the fight and the heavy barrage have taken their toll. For the next moment, feeling groggy, those stun blasts must have had some sort of delayed effect. You've done more than your part, Goliath. If only we knew exactly where Steve Rogers has gone. Wait, what's that ominous sound? Some new menace heading our way at high speed? And indeed, something wicked this way comes. For, as all eyes are turned in the direction that Wanda points, we dare risk no further damage to our installations. Destroy the Avengers. The others wouldn't stand a chance against that thing. Got to block could only slow it down. It'll roll right over me. However, even before the battered form of Hank Pym falls, there suddenly arises a virtual hurricane with the mechanized monster as its very center. I have long desired to show that my speed is good for something other than stirring up leaves. This should settle the matter once and for all, though it may exhaust all my energy. Thus speaking, the meteoric mutant known as Quicksilver transforms himself into a one-man scrap metal drive, and at that precise instant, the tide is also turning in another hard-fought struggle. You're good, fella, real good, but there's one thing I've got that you haven't, and that something is called experience. I've got him off balance now, if only I can keep him that way. But in the heat of battle, Captain America has had no time to consider the Red Guardian's two watching superiors. And that is about to prove a fateful shortcoming. Is this the best your champion can do, Ling? He reels backward, staggered by the blows, the one he was created to defeat. It matters not, Comrade General, for, with a touch of this bittern, victory is ours. And indeed, the following second, I'm standing on some sort of electrical grid, shockwaves running through me, setting my very brain afire. Yet, even as the unconscious form of the red, white and blue Avenger slumps to the floor, an angry voice resounds through the chamber. No, you cannot defeat him so unfairly. Do you think that the Red Guardian is such a weakling that he was unable to continue the fight? I wish, I demand that you allow Captain America to revive so that I may best him in equal hand-to-hand combat. Fool, do you imagine that we are here merely to play games? That the destined masters of the world must concern themselves with fair play? Curb your tongue, lest you feel our wrath. I wait. The Black Widow, she was beside me but a moment ago. Where? And as the startled eyes of Colonel Ling turn upward, he beholds, this may be my one chance to fulfill the mission for which I have risked all to sabotage the dreaded Psychotron. But only a slight charge yet remains in my restored widow's bites. Colonel Ling said the nerve center of the machine is above. I must hope one blast can destroy it. Luckily, they let me retain my suction boots. So, the Black Widow somehow deceived the lie detector. Thus, I find her guilty of treason and sentence her to death. Stop! You must not kill the woman I must chance a shot now. Then, as the mortally wounded Red Guardian falls, a gun is once more levelled at Madame Natasha, but the next moment, from out of nowhere, comes a speeding shaft. Something struck me from behind, yet it was too late. The Black Widow is doomed. I'm hit, falling. If only my single blast accomplished its purpose. I've got to break Tasha's fall. I've got to. If those rats have killed her, they'll pay for it. Swear they will. But, abruptly, all thoughts of personal vengeance are forgotten, as a powerful, almost forgotten form bursts through several inches of tempered steel. The indestructible Hydra hath suddenly faded from view. Then, 'twas but some trickery, an illusion, as I did suspect. I am free. Yet, from whence the flames that I see before me? Are they too a mirage? I wish they were, Whiskers. This isn't exactly the time for details, but our host's little pop gun must have hit something flammable. Cap, over there, looks like he's just stunned. Hoist him over your shoulder and let's go."
"What of the Black Widow, she whom we did come here to rescue? She doth seem so lifeless. She's still breathin', but if we don't get out of here fast, that seems to be all the encouragement the son of Zeus requires. For since all paths around us are barred, 'twould appear that our sole path to safety is through yon ceiling." Just then, directly above, as the remaining Avengers search for some sign of their missing companions, look! Some huge piece of machinery coming through the very metal. Who but Hercules could have hurled it with such force? He and perhaps the others must be down there. I'll get a rope ready in case it's needed. I've got a hunch he wouldn't be tossin' things around just for show. And so, within seconds, the vital line is lowered. "Okay, Man Mountain, pull me up and don't stop to breathe." This place is turnin' into an oven, with Cap and Herc still below. However, as the life-saving rope is dropped a second time, as soon as Steve Rogers rests securely in the aerocar, the Lion of Olympus must return to this blazing inferno to save our foes. No matter how horrendous their crimes, they cannot be left to die. The one called Hercules is escaping with Captain America. That American fool, more than any other, has brought about the destruction that now surrounds me. Whatever else may befall, even though the Psychotron itself be reduced to flaming ashes, Captain America must be destroyed. But then, just as the fatal trigger is squeezed, never, accursed one, not till the heavens crumble, shall Captain America be killed by one so craven as you. He and the woman I have wronged must live, even though we die. Watch out, swine! The laser beam is going wild. What happens next seems a maddened nightmare, or else the foredestined plan of some inscrutable fate. As the flailing laser beam rips through a nearby wall, striking a series of underground gas pipes, the next moment, the very earth itself seems to lash out in a paroxysm of raging fury, spewing forth ancient stores of molten lava into the chamber which, seconds before, had housed the Psychotron. Then, as the remaining troops scurry desperately for safety, writhing streams flow through the entire length and breadth of the gigantic subterranean base, burning all in their relentless path. Flee! Nothing can stand against such a fiery deluge. But where did the lava come from? And, in the almost noiselessly circling aerocar above, the mighty Avengers are asking themselves the same inevitable question. Ling and his bosses must have made a miscalculation and built their huge complex right above a long-dormant volcano. So it would seem, Henry Pym. Yet, it will take much to persuade those who escaped its wrath that their vile project did not offend the very soil on which it was built. And you know something, Pietro? At this stage, I wouldn't be inclined to argue with them. Let's save the armchair philosophy for later. The girl who handed us our shiny little victory is hurt, maybe dying. Get this crate moving. At least I did what I had to do, destroying the Psychotron and secretly leading the Avengers here. What does one life matter, my darling, if the world is safe? One life always matters, Tasha.
That's what you fought for. Besides, it matters to me. Meanwhile, as Quicksilver veers homeward, a weary figure sits apart, lost in his own somber thoughts. From what I've pieced together, I owe my life to the Red Guardian. Strange, we were born only to clash, yet there was an invisible bond between us. We fought on different sides, but each by his own code. And, for that code, the man named Alexei was willing to die. But soon, as the supersonic craft reaches Hawaii and the wounded Black Widow is rushed to the nearest hospital, all thoughts are forgotten, save those of her they once believed a traitor. You've got to tell me, Doc. Is there a chance? I'm afraid I don't know, son. The first aid you gave her helped, but now she's lapsed into a state of shock. all we can do is try, and all you can do is pray. Then, as the quiet, courageous girl is wheeled into the operating room and lost from view, what good is my skill with arrows when they can't help the one person who matters most to me? If I should lose her now, just when I've really found her, I think I know how you feel, partner. But never abandon hope, no matter how slim it may be. It may not be much, but it's all we've got. The hours pass slowly, with each tick of the clock seeming an endless eternity. Then, she's going to live. She pulled through on willpower alone, but she's going to make it. Duck, if you were a girl, I'd marry you. When can I see her? It'll be a few days. She needs rest, and I'll see that she gets it from now on. A few days later, the routine of the hospital staff is interrupted for a second time by 7 costumed figures. As the rest of us wanted to give you two some privacy, Natasha, but Hawkeye insisted we come. You know it, Cap. I want to share my happiness with the whole great big wonderful world. How are you feeling, Tasha? The doc says you'll soon be as good as new. I am feeling very lucky. She'll be walking on walls again in no time, eh, Hercules? Aye, Steve Rogers. I look worse than she does when I get the sniffles. I knew it'd take more than one ray blast to finish my gal. Tasha, maybe this isn't the time to say I'm sorry for not trusting you before, but please, my darling, no, words are necessary. Part of my assignment was to make you think me a traitor. I'm just flattered you think I was a good actress. The best lady. Though I've never figured out just why you became a spy in the first place. Yes, perhaps it is time that I told someone that I told you. You don't have to, doll. I didn't mean to pry. I want you to know my love so that you may understand my husband Alexei, of whom I have never before spoken to you, was one of our homeland's most famed test pilots. Because of his extraordinary skill, he was assigned to test our most secret and most dangerous aircraft. And I was proud to be called his wife. But then, one day, I must inform you that your husband Alexei was killed today when his experimental rocket exploded. However, you will be glad to know he died a hero testing weapons for use against our enemies. If only I could do something to be worthy of his memory. Perhaps there is something. Tell me what it is. I'll do anything. Now, I know they lied so that Alexei could be trained to be the Red Guardian and I to be the Black Widow. They changed him, somehow made him crueler. He seemed hardly the same man I once loved. Look, Tasha, you'd better get some rest. I shall. I only wish I were free to tell you of my mission for S.H.I.E.L.D. No need. We got it straight from Nick Fury himself, how you were under post-hypnotic suggestion to believe you were on their side when your loyalty was questioned. Yes, only thus could I have resisted the psychotron. And just one final thing, Natasha Ling and his cronies spent years training Alexei to be just a super-powerful puppet of the state. But when the chips were down, his feelings for you triumphed over that training, and he died a man. Next-ish, Blitzkrieg in Central Park.
Next issue. Fantastic Four, annual number 5.